everybody. Welcome to Superman and Lois TV Talk. I don't think I have introed an episode yet. Possibly.
You might be right.
That is a possibility. I'm Derek.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Robin.
I don't think I have, because that seemed so foreign to me to say. Because take one, I tried to do Starkville's House of L, and that was incorrect. This is not Starkville's House of L. This is Superman and Lois TV Talk. It's a new generation. My back hurts. There's TikTok now. Clearly, we're all way older than we were in the year 2001 or 2006 when we started doing this. So,
Yeah.
now I have to, when I podcast, I have to take a bear and chase that.
A bear nami.
Yeah, no, like a BAYER. Because they're good for your heart, Frank. I don't know if you've read the we're going off track right at the beginning.
9 out of 10 doctors agree.
That 10th one.
Podcasting BARE.
Yeah.
Okay.
So welcome
Think
to
about how to spell that word.
welcome to Superman and Lois TV Talk. This is the podcast where we cover the upcoming, and when I say upcoming, I do mean upcoming, less than 23 days until the series premiere of Superman and Lois on the CW. A spinoff of myriad things. I made a pun to Supergirl season 1 finale. And Supergirl season 2 premiere. So this we've been podcasting a little sporadically, obviously. I don't know if you people know this or not. There's a pandemic going on. So
Yes, but 2021 is here, and we now have hope.
Yes. Airing on the CW on February. Oh, you mean the vaccine? But yes, also that.
No Superman.
No Superman. Okay. Good deal. Last time we recorded, we assumed the show was premiering in January. Since that time, the premiere date has been altered, and pray that it is not altered further. So February 23rd is now what we're looking at. We're just weeks away. And how are you guys feeling about this upcoming show, especially now that we've actually seen footage from it?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, having seen this trailer that we're going to dive into, I feel really good. And honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised that it was only pushed back, a month and not further than that.
Yeah.
So, I feel good about that.
Yeah, once upon a time, this was supposed to air in the fall. And we were supposed to have a crossover with Batwoman. That was supposed to be the crossover event for December. That didn't happen. Robin, what are you thinking?
Was it supposed to be the same Batwoman, or
I think at that point it was supposed to be Ruby. Yeah. Isn't it weird how many things have changed and
so much has changed
in a year?
That is so weird.
Yeah,
how much
just bizarre. And
I just want to say, on my point of view, like we're going to talk about both trailers today, but of course the first one I was a little irritated with, because I was like, yeah, but can I just see what the show looks like, please? But we'll get into it.
Yeah, and now we have, and that's fantastic to finally get a glimpse of. It's always that scary thing where you launch a podcast and then months before you see anything from it, and you're like, "Did we mess up?" We knew what we were kind of getting into with this one, though. We've been watching the quote unquote, now the CW verse. For a number of years. Obviously, we have somebody who podcasts about the CW verse regularly.
iZombie.
Yes, iZombie. That's good. I love that you both went for the joke. You both did it. Thank you. I appreciate that. No, I was referring to Supergirl TV Talk, our cousin show.
That's me.
You get it?
I really should have gotten that one. That's on me a little bit.
We'd call it a sibling or a sister show, but in this case, we'll just call it a cousin show.
A cousin show.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kissing cousins.
Yeah. What? No, that's not.
No, sorry.
That's a.
No, you made it weird.
Okay.
He makes most things weird. So.
You and your ass.
But also, speaking of things that have drastically changed, the entire face of the CW verse / the Arrowverse has greatly changed. Just since the last time we recorded, we now know Supergirl is entering its final season. We know Black Lightning is entering its final season. We know that the Arrow spinoff, the Green Arrow and the Canaries, did not get picked up.
Right.
Which is too bad.
Yeah, it is. I wonder how much they can implement them into Legends of Tomorrow. So Legends.
I've
obviously,
also been screaming at you guys to watch Stargirl because I thought it was fantastic.
I'm 3 episodes into Stargirl. I'm 3 episodes in. I got excited. It said TV PG, and I thought, oh, Wesley can watch this. And she can, but the first episode, I was like, why would you say those things? But anyway, we rolled with it. She's into it
cool.
a good bit. So yeah, we watched 3 episodes of it. That designation now Earth 2. Although another thing that has changed since last time we recorded is now the DC films are embracing the multiverse and calling themselves their own Earths. And I believe Robert Pattinson's The Batman was designated Earth 2 in that. So who's keeping track anymore? Isn't that
I can keep track.
Isn't that what happened at the end of the Crisis montage? As we saw when all the Earths got relegated, it was Stargirl was Earth 2. Isn't that right?
Yeah, we saw a tease, a little preview of Stargirl. Yeah.
All I remember is Brandon Routh in the Kingdom Come suit with the yellow.
That's all. That's all I want to remember.
Yeah. Speaking of Hope.
Oh my gosh. Speak about Reverse Hope. He's Bizarro in his new role on The Rookie. Holy cow!
He's a racist, isn't he?
That show.
Right? You know that's just a show. You know it's just a character.
No, the character. I know the character he's playing, but he plays like a really awful person.
He's a bad cop.
Yeah, got range.
Cop.
He does get range. You don't remember Chuck? He was the bad guy in season 3 of Chuck.
That's true.
Yeah. Fulcrum.
Kirk was on that show.
Was that that was the bad guy, but no, he was the Ring. That was his organization, was the Ring.
Okay.
Now who's in the Wayback Machine? Remember Chuck?
I remember Subway.
Yeah. Me too. Hey, let's talk about Superman.
They don't even call it tuna. I mean,
dear God. Right. And I thought we used to go off rails in the old days. So, we've had key art released, we've had posters released, we've had a very conceptual teaser released since our last recording, and now we've had an actual first real glimpse at the show in a trailer that released 2 weeks ago. That we're going to dive into tonight and kind of break down and talk about what this is going to look like. And speaking of what it's going to look like, first interpretation is it looks nothing like what we've seen before. It looks nothing like The Flash. It looks nothing like Supergirl. It looks nothing like Arrow. They have definitely set out to carve their own little way in this one, I feel like.
And I'm for it. Like I have been, I liked Arrow. I loved The Flash. I've loved Supergirl. I've loved the approach that they've taken to each of those shows. But I really like that they're carving out a different space for this. Because at first it did seem like they were going to go very much into the same vein. And I assumed that based off of what we had seen in crossovers, whenever we had seen these characters appear in the crossovers. And so far as going back to this, the original Smallville Kent farm and having all the characters hang out there, it really looked like, all right, it was a logical conclusion to think that they would sort of stick in the same vein. But from what we saw in this full season trailer, it does seem like they're taking a little bit of a different direction. And I'm all for spicing things up, making things a little bit fresher. It's been 9 years since Arrow came and this sort of offshoot universe started, and so that's a good time to sort of take stock and maybe do a little bit of a soft reset.
I'm sorry, I don't remember Arrow starting things. I remember Smallville starting things back in 20 years ago this year, by the way.
I chose my words so carefully to placate you, and still...
Don't placate me. I'm not a child.
Really, the whole universe owes itself to Mork and Mindy, if you really think about it. And it all came from an egg. The egg came first.
I mean...
None of us would be here if it weren't for All in the Family. I'd just like to remind you. So, tune into my All in the Family podcast.
St. Elsewhere. St. Elsewhere is all I have to say.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Archie cast. So, do we want to just go ahead and hop in? I guess we'll talk about this conceptual one first. I think it left a lot of people scratching their heads. Is this what the show's going to look like? We didn't know what to expect. Like Frank, it was kind of like, well, these are... I'm not going to say cookie cutter, but there's been a mold to all these shows of the hero that we know, and then ancillary characters that I'm not saying that negatively. I'm just saying in the beginning they are ancillary characters that become that form the team surrounding our hero.
Supporting characters.
With the Flash, you had Star Labs. With Supergirl, you had the DEO. Arrow obviously had Team Arrow as it grew and shrunk and grew and shrunk, and then Legends is a team in and of itself. I think the argument you could make there is since 1938, we're not really used to seeing Superman have a team backing him. Superman's team is Lois, so it's good that it's nice to see that the even down to the title that the implementation has been this is the team, which I hate to say because God, that's a Justice League quote. But anyway, this is don't worry, we'll be talking Zack Snyder's Justice League at the end of the show today.
Okay.
Stay tuned to the after show.
Stay tuned after the credits for spoilers. Spoiler alert, this movie came out several years ago. But yeah, definitely the idea that Superman needs a quote unquote team is just kind of weird. We don't rely on that. I mean, obviously there's the Superman family and then there's the Justice League and stuff like that. But to be honing in on the specific route they were going with this, it would seem very weird to have a team surrounding him and backing him up that's not his, spouse. And then we kind of, as we grew into what the show was going to become, we realized it was going to be very much a family-centered kind of superhero drama. I think kind of in the same vein that Black Lightning has been, not directly influenced or referenced by any stretch of the imagination, but just a little bit more of just a central unit that for storytelling devices, and that's what we've got here in that Clark and Lois have returned to Smallville, or Clark has returned to Smallville after years away, after the Clark that we know him to be at the Daily Planet as Superman, that kind of thing. So this is a different interpretation, seeing him return home, and with two teenage sons that he didn't have this time. Well, this time last year he did, but this time 14 months ago he didn't have.
Sure. Right. Does this take place before the pandemic, by the way? Or does Crisis split us off from the Superman world?
We skewed off. We skewed off.
I think he spun the world backwards and undid it.
Oh, thank goodness.
Felicity actually solved the entire COVID pandemic.
That's true. The only bummer is that there was a nuclear bomb that went off instead. So, but whatever. What can you do?
That seems like something she'd do, right?
Sure.
We got a pandemic on it. That just seems like that.
I was just thinking about Kerry Russell, and I'm like, how does this joke working?
It doesn't. That's the thing, Robin. None of my jokes work. So walk us through the conceptual teaser.
Okay, so this one is called, they call it Family Crest. And it's got some great colors of black and red and blues. So it basically starts off with Superman in silhouette, and we get like close-ups of him looking kind of intense, and it's got a voiceover from Clark saying, "We all begin as one version of ourselves, but as we grow, life changes us."
Got a voiceover from Liza Minnelli, which I thought was a weird choice, but whatever, we rolled with
it. So yeah, it kind of it shows Superman doing his thing, and then it goes into like flashes of him and Lois and the farm and all that. And then strangely we see Clark and Lois holding a baby, and then suddenly we see Jonathan as a teenager. Like, whoa, that was quick. And he continues saying, but every moment shaping our character, shifting our priorities, stretching every fiber of our being. And they have this whole like fiber stretching out between the images. Interesting. The first time we see Jordan in this trailer, it kind of starts with his eyes. It looks a little scary, and then all of a sudden it shows his full face. And you're like,
it almost tried to make him like paint him as evil or something, which I didn't care for at all. Right. Because that's not the case with Jordan. Jordan has severe anxiety. He's has trouble fitting in. He doesn't feel like he has a place in this world. And then the teaser almost painted him as like the villain there for a second. I was like, I don't like that. That's weird.
Yeah. So he kind of goes along with the fiber thing, stretching every fiber of our being until we've lost ourselves to the stress of it all. And yeah, there's this really cool shot of Superman looking at this mirror and then shooting his red laser beams.
Thanks, Crisis.
From his eyes into the mirror. And I was waiting for him to start shaving, but whatever.
We're not that lucky.
Eventually.
And I don't know, they started showing like close-ups of his face, I think. I'm not sure.
I think you're right. I mean, that's how I read it.
Yeah.
The aesthetics of this teaser, I just texted both of you guys, and I'll put this in the show notes as well, but the aesthetics, the visuals reminded me of the style, the art style of a lot of the Smallville season 11 comics covers.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Right? There was something.
Shout out to Brian Q. Miller and Kat Staggs on that one.
Exactly. There was a texture to the sort of animation of it that very much gave me that feel. And like I said, I'll throw an example of what I'm talking about in the show notes for anyone who's interested and curious. But yeah, I doubt that was intentional. But anyway, it evoked that image for me.
Yeah. So I was first put off going, okay, so he's looking at these mirrors and then he's showing, it shows images of Lois and his kids, and then he's shooting laser beams at them and blowing them all up. And I'm like, okay, what?
It was a choice. It was a choice.
But then as they're shattering, he's flying away from them. And I'm like, what is this? What is this trailer trying to tell here? Like, am I not reading this the right way?
I never agreed to 2 boys. I'm out.
And so he continues, says, that's not true because under the torn fibers is a stronger person, forged like steel, with the courage to fight for those we love, and what we thought was lost can be found in family. And as he's kind of flying out of all this broken glass, you can see he's grabbing that huge fiber and pulling it together, pulling all the glass together behind him. And then his family is like reassembled, I guess.
Throws all the nuclear warheads into the sun. And
I know. I was like, is there a net holding that?
It's a giant net. Okay,
no,
so
was in Smallville. Annette was in Smallville. This is a different show.
Oh, that was a Robin joke as told by Frank. So that was interesting.
I'm aging into my personality.
Yeah. That joke was brought to you by Cream of Wool. Cream of Wool. Darn it. You got the joke wrong.
You don't in our group, you don't get older, you just turn into Robin.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know anything about the show, and obviously we knew stuff before this aired, and we knew stuff obviously before this aired, but if you were just ho-humming along watching the CW and this aired, what do you think this show is about? What do you think this show is about? Like, seriously. I went back and watched it today because I hadn't watched it since that day that it aired. I was like, that was cool looking, but story. I felt like I was back in Baptist church and listening to a preacher make an analogy in the sermon that went nowhere. It's like a room. It's like a room full of closets, and then you go through the closets, and then you come back around, and you're a stronger person. What? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
You have to destroy your entire family's
You have
reflection?
to blow up all the mirror images and reflections of your family to be a better. No, no, it was just
the side of the carousel of closets.
I would think it was like a commercial for like an animated series or a rotoscoped series, even. Just like, this is interesting look for a new Superman show.
And we were so hungry for something too, because we've been doing the podcast for a while now. Obviously, again, sporadically, we've been waiting for word of when the show was going to come out. So any kind of footage, we were just devouring. I remember Robin even tweeting the official CW account. It was like, "Hey, this would be a good. There was a day in particular in January. There's been a lot of weird days in January, but there was one in particular day in January where Robin tweeted them and was like, "Hey, tomorrow would be a good day for, How
about a trailer?
Yeah, a trailer." And then it came.
Yep.
So Biden's America.
Made that happen.
Yeah. Robin single-handedly brought that to us.
Manifested it, Robin.
Now, again, we knew in watching this, we're like, well, that's not what the show's going to look like at all. There was one takeaway I did notice in watching that, and there was some older footage too brought in. There was some Crisis stuff. There were some other things. I did notice that was not Kent Farm, or not the Kent Farm that we know Kent Farm to be. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but 2 Decembers ago, there was this crossover event called Elseworlds where we established that Tyler's Clark lived on the Kent Farm that Tom's Clark from Smallville lived on also. Even though there was no reference to it whatsoever in the next crossover when they go to the house, you'd think he would say something like, "Oh, it looks just like my house." Regardless, doesn't happen. But we see the familiar Kent Farm that we saw in 10 seasons of Smallville. That was the established farm in Elseworlds, and then we saw it again in Crisis on Infinite Earths last year. That is not the farm they will be using for Superman and Lois. And I'm totally fine with it not being what we've already seen. Obviously, the fact that they've already shown it to be the other farm is odd, but you can...
Wasn't the rumor that it was going to be, though, at one point?
Crisis tide pin that away. That's no big deal. You just erase that. That's fine. Lois's dad looks different. No problem. Live at a different address due to I almost said COVID. Due to Crisis. No big deal.
Thing.
Yeah.
Wasn't the original report saying that they were going to use the yellow house, the Smallville Kent Farm?
Pay no attention to earlier. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Who knows? COVID could have been a result of them choosing a new place. I tend to think that they wanted to do something different because Clark and Lois will be living, and the boys will be living in this house, and so it's probably going to be predominantly in every single episode, and to set forth a new path. It just means we have another Kent Farm to go to later this year in Vancouver.
Right.
So
that's right. I will say, there was a part of me that was really happy with sort of the continuity of keeping it, the same farm. But I guess that's it's probably best to close that chapter and move on to something else. And like you said, now we have another farm to visit. So, yeah.
Well, and I would have never forgiven them if they, blew up the barn or something in the first episode, and you were like,
I mean, just remember how possessive we were when we watched the Elseworlds. Like Barry Allen sitting on the porch as if he owned the place. Like, get off there!
Get your ass!
That pickup truck wasn't there.
Get your running ass off that banister. You don't belong there.
Take your EpiPen and get out of here.
Get out of here. Remember when we watched Beetlejuice last night? So obviously a lot of things have changed, that being the result of one thing. Another thing, and we've talked about this on the show at great length on the podcast before, is the twins being twins now instead of just one child that we saw in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Lois's dad, played by a different actor, Morgan Edge, who is said to be the big bad of at least the first season, going to be played by a different actor than was played by on Supergirl. So multiple changes incoming for the Kent family. Some will be discussed on screen and some will not. So, conceptually, yes, that first teaser was a grab bag of things to experience. The full trailer, though, gave us our first real feel at what we were about to be getting into and what we can expect from really just the first 2 episodes in that trailer. So, talk to us about that, Robin. Tell us how that unfolds.
What first struck me as we're watching this trailer, so I guess I'm not that good at understanding, cameras and how they work. So are these better cameras than are usually used, or are they just using a new filter? Because
it's just being shot in a totally different way. Again, it's not so much a cookie cutter thing with these other shows, but they've done what they've done, and it's worked well for. Frank, you can speak to that better than I can.
Yeah, I think you're hitting on something, Robin. That like the cinematography is definitely different. Things are lit differently. There's definitely a different color palette to the show than we're used to seeing on a lot of these shows. It's almost like in I take a shot every time someone mentions Smallville, but the way that in Smallville you had a lot of yellows, yellow light, yellow colors when they were in Smallville, and a lot of blue when they were in Metropolis. Yeah. And it seems like this show is kind of going for that blue look a little bit more, at least from a lot of the footage that we saw here. So yeah, I think it's just lit differently. It's shot a little bit differently, and they were given license to go off, outside of the sort of template that the Arrowverse shows have tended towards so far, and give it its own look and feel. I mean, all of these shows have their own look to a degree, but it seems like this one is sort of skewing off in a little bit more than they have with the other shows recently.
How absolutely refreshing is it that we're just like, this isn't just like, my name's Clark Kent, and I can fly, and I was raised in Kansas.
Well, let's hope not. I mean, let's don't put that evil on us just yet.
I'm just saying, like, it is a bit cookie cutter. It does feel like, I mean, and I think that they're really trying to like do something different here. Again, I sing the praises of Stargirl. I feel like Stargirl has really gone off into a different path and made a much more comic booky show. Where this is like again, the muted colors, the drama of it all, the family story. It seems like such a different take on than what we're used to seeing. So, well, I just got to commend them.
I'll go further than the cinematography, than coloring or anything like that. Down to the effects, Superman flying looks vastly different than Supergirl flying.
Yes,
almost on a cinematic scale. There's a couple of shots. There's one where he's adrift, kind of out of the atmosphere, and a shot right before that where he's flying at the screen. That I mean, you want to make a Superman 4 joke, but you can't at all because it just looks that good.
I was reminded of Routh when he was up there.
I'm talking about him coming at the screen. Oh, the same thing from Superman 4 over and over again.
Here it comes again.
It looks, didn't even bother. Didn't go for a different alternate take on that one, did you? Okay, Chris, good deal.
What a boy!
What a boy! So, another thing we haven't talked yet is the suit. I can't believe it. We got to talk about that too. So, they definitely threw some money at this thing, which is nice to see.
Yeah,
you can't do. Well, you can do Superman shoddy. Excuse me, but you can't give us a pilot and it just be another superhero property. I'm sorry, I'm not saying that because I'm such a huge Superman fan. There's something that sets him apart from a Flash show or an Arrow show or anything else, in that he was the first. I mean, he was DC's bread and butter. Before it was DC even, but dating back to Action Comics 1938. I mean, to have had just yet another, my name is Clark Kent, like it wouldn't fit. It just doesn't go into this mold. And there's nothing wrong with the current mold of those shows. It's not that same formula. I'm glad they set it apart from that.
And how interesting is it that we've had all these shows that come before it. But we know as fans of superheroes that Superman really comes before them. So how cool is it that we're not like it's like Clark Kent, and he's inspired by the Flash or Arrow or something like that. How weird would that be? This is a world where Superman has been lived in, and this looks like to me, the coloring, the way it's shot, it looks like a Superman movie. I mean, this reminds me of, especially the Smallville stuff. This reminds me of Man of Steel. This reminds me of the original Superman movie.
Yeah.
Really all the Superman movies.
I see that.
Frank, dating back to season 2 of Supergirl, our first introduction of Tyler in the role, and then we didn't get Bitsy as Lois until sometime later. He was obviously a new actor playing the role. He was in a very shoddy costume that we've spent time talking about in the past, but they treated him differently when he was on the scene as well than what previous instances we've had to, not of Superman, but previous instances of DC characters being introduced on screen at the same time, because you don't have to have an origin story for Superman. It's just like you don't have to have one as Batman. It just, people like to see him cry in an alley, so that's, more fun for them. but we didn't need the whole, even going back to the pilot of Supergirl, that she does the whole little, you may have heard his story because they focus on baby Kal-El and they go down the track all the way and it's her put in her own ship. But there was like almost a level of respect that they almost like when he showed up that first time. He had his own theme music the first time he showed up on Supergirl.
Yeah, there was a whole other level of prestige. Yeah, that Superman got in Supergirl, and then in his subsequent appearances in the crossovers. And there is definitely a more of a white glove treatment of this character than we typically see when we have someone visiting from elsewhere in the DC universe. And I'm biased, but I would say rightfully so. And it seems fitting that if they were going to sort of pivot this universe, it seems appropriate to me that Superman would be the character that would kick that off and maybe branch out a little bit more. You've got your Stargirl, you've got your Superman now, and the CW family of superhero shows is growing and diversifying a little bit.
I wouldn't have been happy with a Superman and Lois show told in the same vein as those other shows. And I don't, is that sticking my nose up? I don't mean for it to sound that way at all, because it's just, you established those characters in those ways.
Right.
We've never had a Supergirl. I mean, we've had a Supergirl movie, but we never had a Supergirl live action TV show before.
Derek, you just said something. I think I agree with you, but let me ask you this. Let me put it to you this way: if Superman were the first of these shows, were the first of these shows, and this show were to follow what we now know as sort of the template that Flash and Supergirl and them have followed. But if it was the first one to do that, would you feel the same way, do you think?
I'm always going to be of the mindset that Superman doesn't need that 10-person guy at the computer team. That's just me.
That's fair.
As far as the opening monologue and stuff like that, yeah, they could have totally done that and had no issue. The opening monologue to me has just become a running joke. It's not. I have no issue with the opening monologue. I have my issue is the Mad Libs insert name, insert superpower, insert name of city thing here that they've done every time. It really is
like just change out the nouns and the verbs, and you got the same structure.
All right, send Melissa in. Change it to the teleprompter. So to me, that's just become a joke of mine. Is the other thing, but yeah, the team thing just doesn't work for me. Again, Superman and Lois are their own team. Superman is who he is because of Lois. Lois is who she is because of truth and justice, and that's what makes Superman want to, be that pursuer of truth and justice. So the idea that their team is their own family and that they're having to deal with real life issues that we're about to get into in this trailer, like getting laid off, how many people did that happen to in the last year, lose their job? I mean, that's what more relatable way to relate to a superhero than something like that, just off the gate. And I do mean out of the gate. I mean, like opening moments of the pilot out of the gate. I thought it was a bold choice to make Michael McKean Jonathan Kent. I don't know where that came from, but I can't. Whenever I watch that trailer, I can't see anybody but Michael McKean because that looks just like him.
Totally. Totally. I did a double. Is that
McKeon? Really? It's a bold choice. I do like that from what I know, the whole Dying Planet, Kindly Couple, Cornfield, Meteors, all that is taken to task in a montage, and then we move on because we know all that stuff.
Right.
I have nothing against an origin story of Superman, but obviously we have established on this podcast many times this Superman has been on the scene for many, many years, doing his thing. And
but isn't Superman's falling pearl necklace basically Jonathan killing over in the driveway? Are we gonna get that?
Jonathan's already dead. Jonathan died when Clark was a teenager. This version of Clark, unless Christ has changed something.
Yeah, but we see Jonathan in the trailer like a flashback. So I'm assuming if
that's obviously them looking down at him in the ship. That shot. So we may see Jonathan die. I don't know. They may just Uncle Ben him from Far From Home or Homecoming and make some passing one-line reference, and that'd be the end of it. I don't know. We know Jonathan is not in this show. Martha has a message for Clark, and that's something that brings him back to Smallville. And family is something that is hugely important to Clark Kent across the genres. I mean, all the way dating back to 1938. I mean, the relationship between Clark and Martha and Jonathan has always been huge. Usually it is the quote-unquote kindly elderly couple that never could have a son and finds Clark in the, we'll say it was my sister's kid or my cousin's kid or something like that. Smallville introduced us to a younger Martha and Jonathan to give more reason to have them involved in Clark's life. I think we're back on the elderly track here a little bit with this one. I mean, we know that this Clark even calls them Ma and Pa because he did it in either Elseworlds or Crisis. I think Elseworlds.
He did. I think it was Elseworlds.
So there's obviously some carryover there, but again, why spend so much time doing what every incarnation of Batman ever does and showing the Waynes die in the alley? When we know what happens. We know Krypton blows up. We know he's put in a ship. Are you telling me I don't want to see that stuff? You're wrong. I'll see that stuff 1,000 times over. I don't care. Take me back to Krypton anytime you want. But that's definitely... And we even kind of got that moment in Crisis because they put Jonathan in the ship on Argo City. You remember, right. and send him off, and they even do the whole, the Brando speech and the Susanna York speech. So we kind of got that anyway in the opening moments of Crisis. But again, this is something that we haven't seen too much before because most incarnations of Superman is some form of an origin story or some form of him being fresh to the scene as Superman. And this is an established Superman that is married to Lois Lane, that has 2 kids, and is leaving Metropolis.
Yeah, and it's really I like the way that you kind of have, obviously the standard is to have an elderly Jonathan and Martha, but I like that it depends on it sort of now depends on how integral to the story are they. If they're going to be more integral to the story, it makes sense to have them be younger and more, essentially to give them a reason to a story-based reason for them to still be alive. Mm-hmm. But if they're not as much a part of the story, makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense for them to be a bit older and maybe for one of them to have passed on already.
Robin, do you want to walk us through this trailer? And more is uncovered within, so there's a lot to discuss.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, muted colors we kind of start off with, and what also struck me, we get this nice shot of the farm. The field just seems like it's barren. I don't see like lush cornfields like we saw in Smallville. I see this is all kind of not been taken care of for a while. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. It might be like out of season, so what do I know? But Okay, so we also see.
Well, that's the farming report for Robin.
Don't come to me to talk farms. I don't know what I'm talking about, apparently. We see a flashback of Clark and Lois's wedding day. It looks like they had at least like a celebration, maybe, or a meetup at the Kent farm before. It seems like they go off together in like a limo or something. And we, instead of Clark's voiceover, we get Lois's voiceover for this official trailer, talking about how when they were dreaming about having a family, it didn't look like this. We lost jobs, or teens with severe anxiety, which made me go, because I think we've heard through character descriptions that Jordan might be the one with the severe anxiety, but I don't, maybe she's just a figure of speech saying just teens with severe anxiety.
Yeah. I caught that too. I caught that too. Yeah, it had me wondering the same thing, Robin. Yeah, is it was that a reference? Is that just a figure of speech, or is she actually somehow indicating that both of them have some issues?
Yeah. Then we see the close up of Michael McKean, and I don't know.
That looks like Michael McKean, y'all.
Yeah. Who's the lady that was in Designing Women that was in Watchmen as well? Is that her playing Martha? I forget. So she says parents gone too soon.
Jean Smart. No, that's not Jean Smart.
Thank you.
I was like, I was thinking the movie Watchmen.
And then we get a nice shot of Kent Farm, and the classic Kent mailbox in the foreground. It seems like that farm is so much bigger than what we saw in Smallville. Yeah. And again, ding ding, keep hitting the Smallville bell, but maybe it is good that they're not setting this at the Yellow House, because
there's definitely more room to do stuff than there is. Of course, they shot Smallville in such a way that it looks completely different than when you actually pull up to that house. It's like, oh, it's right at the road. That's weird as hell. The barn is like twice the size of the Smallville farm. They even got a silo. So,
look at that.
Good stuff. I like the farm. It looks very Kent Farm to me.
Yeah, exactly. This reminded me of like movies. Kent Farm. It just seems like this huge expanse of land. The house is huge. The barn is huge. There's a bit of get a lot of scenes moving around, all that acreage. And then we get a male voice, which turns out to be General Lane, saying, "Why'd you move the family here? You're still looking for that simple life, because those days are gone, Clark. Long gone."
We have very different Sam Lane than what we've seen previously of that character.
Totally different tone.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously different actor, just different in every way.
And I still think there's just a little resentment there. I mean, obviously he knows that Clark is Superman. He knows that, basically his daughter's married to Superman. I mean, that's all established with this Sam Lane. But, I'm not going to say he doesn't trust Superman, but I still think there's a little riff there. Beyond just a father-in-law and son-in-law kind of thing. Yeah,
exactly. Like, does he see Clark and Lois moving back to Smallville as him like shirking his duties? I mean, I'm getting that
think
impression.
So a little bit. I think it is very much. Look, you're the Man of Steel. You're supposed to be flying around doing stuff. I don't know what this farming business is, because that's very far from Sam Lane. He's a soldier, and I think he kind of expects that same thing from Superman, and Superman's not a soldier.
Mm-hmm. He's got soul, but he's not a soldier.
Oh my God.
We then see a crate of kryptonite, and right around this crate, I noticed in pausing it, there's like grenades and other explosives sitting around it. And then we back up and we see that Superman's arch nemesis, Master Chief from the Halo series, is here. I don't know who this guy is. But is he like a stranger?
It's Master Chief. He is a stranger.
It's the most ambitious crossover of all time.
Yeah. You thought Infinity War was big. No, sir. Microsoft and DC. Yes, this is the Stranger. Ooh.
Okay.
Who is the Stranger?
Great Billy Joel album.
Fantastic Billy Joel album.
I'm not going to start whistling, but I want to.
And so, presumably, he has all the kryptonite. It's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
Pronounced kryptonite.
Previously established lore in Supergirl, wasn't all the kryptonite gathered in one place and then...
Crisis. It's fine.
Crisis, meteors, synthetic kryptonite, take your pick.
Okay.
It's 0.2% tar, so be looking out for that.
That's true.
It's interesting.
It's definitely dark green kryptonite. Like, it's probably dark because there's not light on it, but it's green kryptonite. So we don't have to worry about the other stuff just yet. So yeah, we then go back to the Kent farm, and Clark is pouring a beer, and this is some sort of social function that.
Well, in the South, we call them barbecues. Robin, I don't know if you're familiar with.
I remember getting together with other people. You see.
Yes. It does. Anytime I watch anything now and I see people together, I'm like, stop it! Get away from each other! What are you doing?
Wait, tell me more about these barbecues. Is that like a debutante ball?
Well, just that one time, and there was a lot of tequila involved. I won't wear that dress again.
I usually wear overalls, so
yeah. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, Smallville is very much that. I know it's Kansas, but it's kind of that Texas football and beer and that kind of thing kind of place. So.
Oh my God! Explosions in the sky should score every Smallville scene.
I have no issue with that whatsoever. They're all going to be Smallville scenes, Robin. Every single one of them.
Well, who knows? I mean, he's Superman. He's got to go save places. I'm assuming he's going to fly to other places.
We also get our first glimpse at Lana Lang here.
Oh.
What do you think
she
about
says
that?
you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So does Lana know in this?
I don't think she does.
I don't think she does. I think that's one of those things where it's like, you have no idea.
Yeah. Now I could potentially see her finding out being a plot point at some point in this series. I'm not going to say season 1. I'm not going to say the pilot or even season 1. But I think definitely. There's got to be this whole. Yeah, something would always happen when we turn around and Clark was gone, or all these crazy. Remember that time we all got in that car wreck and you didn't have a single scratch on, that kind of thing. So I feel like that there's some element of, the all-American Clark Kent that and definitely I think also there's that whole element of the one that got away for Lana. Speaking for Lana's point of view, not for Clark, because. We're too old for that triangle crap at this stage in our lives. We did that for 10 years on Smallville.
Well, I'm saying that, but
Frank says,
Lana? This new Lana is a stunner. I like her.
Old Lana was not. Let's not say old Lana. Previously old Lana.
Yo, Lana.
Kristen was pretty too. They're all pretty people.
Yes.
And Clark wishes he could get drunk sometimes.
I know.
That was a great line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then we go into the close up of Superman's face, looking very serious. He's flying towards the camera, Superman 4-ish, and then he goes up to space.
That looks so much different than Supergirl's flying.
Yeah, it does. They definitely invested more in the pilot.
I think they went to a totally different FX house.
They may have. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm going to look into that while we're talking here,
Yeah.
because they do go with Armin VFX for everything in this universe. But you could be right. They may have gone a different direction.
I think they've gone somewhere else. This shot of him flying, this is what reminded you of Superman Returns, Robin?
No, the space.
That's what I meant. That's where I'm at. I'm paused at 34 seconds. Yeah. And then obviously something comes flying at him.
Yeah. Is that the guy in the suit there?
That's Master Chief.
Master Chief?
Is that how we're just going to refer to him on the show? Is that our new Krypton Goldie Wilson of the whole thing?
Billy Joel?
I'm sure by the end of episode 1 we'll actually have a different name for him, but for now purposes, that's Master Chief.
And then we hear, I believe young Jonathan's voice, not Elder Jonathan, saying, "You're saying you're Superman?" Because, we get a little bit of footage of him, Superman, like landing in some sort of factory, and there seems to be some sort of fire or something going on. He's saving the day. It's the middle of a mission.
Yeah.
And then we have Jonathan and Jordan looking through some sort of abandoned building. I don't know. Maybe that's the barn. I'm not sure. And then we go back outside with Jonathan and Jordan, and Jordan is yelling at Clark saying, "No, we've seen Superman before. We've seen him." So
Lois is like, "Take a chair, honey." The stories I can tell you. The kids don't know. And I think that's fascinating. I love, and it's not something that seems that they're going to drag out either. It's something that gets handled head on in the first episode. I'm sure it somehow relates to struggles that both Jonathan and Jordan are going through in their own lives. That kind of, that there's, I'm sure there's some broken dynamic in this, going back to that first conceptual teaser. This kind of strengthens bonds in finding this out. I mean, Clark's hidden this from them, depending on how you do the math, either for a year or for 15 plus years. Both. He remembers it both ways, like frequency, which was not bad. Yeah, I think but I think it's great that it's not going to get something it's not going to be season 6 and, Jordan's like sees Clark lift a truck or something. Like it's something that's addressed
right
out of the gate.
Right.
And I'm sure there's got to be some strife with taking two high school boys out of the life they've known from Metropolis and moving them to the middle of nowhere in this farm that Dad grew up in. Why are we moving back? Why are we moving back here? And there's a lot going into.
So boring when they have to visit.
Yeah. We only come here ever so often.
There's no Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And obviously Clark losing his job. That's, another. And Lana's right. You do have the weight of the world on your shoulders. I mean, there's a lot going on. Look, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on here. I did take a look here at who did the effects for this show, and it is a different effects company. So you nailed that, Derek. It is Cinesight, who's the same company that has done effects for all the Marvel Disney Plus shows. So Loki and WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, and also Resident Evil, The Witcher on Netflix, and Halo.
Nailed it.
You can't make this up, folks. Revealed in real time.
Go
ahead.
No, I was also looking to see if there was some. I'm not seeing quickly looking through IMDb. I'm sorry to do this on the air. Who might be composing the music for?
I haven't heard if Blake's doing it or not. I don't know.
I would think they seem to be in a season of change, so it would not surprise me if they're, saying thanks Blake for all your service, but we're going to go in a different direction for this one.
Yeah. Which I'm fine with. I want a good. I never was happy with his theme on Supergirl. It just was kind of lacking to me, and that's not again. I mean, again, he was a special guest star. He didn't need to spend a whole lot of time on his theme. Same argument they made for the suit. Look, he was showing up for a couple scenes. We got him a suit. Whatever, and we didn't think anything more about it. I mean, they've all but come out and said it wasn't meant to withstand an entire series, which is why they've gone back and given him this really nice looking suit now that I'm very happy with.
So, some interesting things also happen in this trailer. It seems that inside the barn, we see an accident happened. We see a bunch of pipes come crashing down. We see somebody in a white shirt protecting another person as the pipes cover them. And so my first thought is,
who stacked those up there? I mean, my God, that's just a problem waiting to happen.
Well, obviously Clark.
That's not union labor.
So my first thought is like, oh God, so Clark just like raced in there and covered, somebody. But then we see Clark hurling the pipes off of that somebody. So one could hypothesize maybe somebody might have powers that is not Superman.
Look, there's two boys. Look, one of them.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. How many times have we seen TV shows before? One of those kids is going to have powers. And the smart money for the twist is not on the All-American football athlete. The smart money is on the anxiety-ridden long-haired one that they, for some reason, made look like a villain in that first teaser. And I think it's definitely the connection, too. I think Lois is kind of more in tune with Jordan. I think Clark's kind of more in tune with Jonathan. So even that's something, a connection that previously that father didn't have with that son, if that is something that comes about. Because, again, those pipes would crush somebody. And Clark is not the one under them.
So it's interesting that this trailer gave that away so quickly, and I'm assuming that it's one of them that it's giving it away. So maybe that's something that is handled right up front. I don't.
Who knows? I mean, obviously, we do the question is answered in the next shot. If you're pausing along with us at about the 45-second mark, you can actually see the heads of John the Baptist. No, sorry, of Jonathan and Jordan and Lois in the lower left-hand corner, watching as Clark proves that he is Superman to, I guess, his two sons that refuse to believe it. I mean, and who wouldn't? Everybody's
come on,
I've seen
Dad.
Superman.
Really?
You're not Dad.
Yeah, he's got his glasses off, so the disguise is down.
Yeah, you got to do that. Look, you take them off. That's got to be the first step, right? They argue with him, and you're like, look, and you're like, I'm not buying it. No.
Then he adjusts his posture.
Yeah, he stands up a little bit tall, and they're like, oh my God. And Lois is like, see? So, it's the whole thing. But obviously, yes, flight plus strength is a great way to show off that you are the Man of Steel.
Right. This isn't a very flattering shot of Jonathan in the next frame where he looks like he's catching flies. His mouth just hanging.
He's a little bit more shocked than Jordan is. I think Jordan's mad. I think Jordan's angry at this. I think Jordan's kind of, and to just from the breakdown of the two archetypes of characters that we're getting here, I think Jonathan's far more the one that's like, this is badass, and Jordan's probably more of the mindset of, you have lied to us for this entire year of our life. This entire 1 year since we were born last December, you have lied to us. Where's John Jones? So, I think that's definitely going to be an issue between the guys.
Can I just throw this out there? And we don't ever have to discuss this ever again. But his disguise, his glasses, guys. I mean, like, his kids don't even see that. His kids. All right.
But how often are his kids? How often are his kids right up against Superman's face?
Like, if they say, like, oh, we only see him, like, they barely ever catch a photo of him. But if this is Superman who's been saving Metropolis left and right, there has been plenty of shots of him, like, waving at the camera.
With Lois.
Yeah. Mom's.
Unless he's doing the vibrating face thing. I don't know. I'm kidding.
No, don't go down that. The vibrating face thing's so weird. But again, why would you ever even think that your dad was Superman? I mean, what? He's a total nerd to them. He's a reporter. There's nothing about that. He comes from a farm in Kansas. There's nothing that screams Superman. Like, it's so innocuous. It's just not even on the radar.
His face looks like Superman's face. That's pretty much
jawline. That jawline, though.
Listen, I will tend to agree with you. I'm not one to make jokes about the glasses and Lois Lane and all that stuff because I think there's some slight misogyny to it when it comes to her. But I will say that Zooey Deschanel picture that went around for a few. You remember that a couple of years ago, where it was like her with bangs and then her with her hair parted and everything. And it was like, I totally get how nobody saw Clark and Superman now. Like it makes total sense to me.
Yeah, that's true. We have Clark alone in a factory now, investigating, it seems, and then we're back out with Lois talking to Clark, saying no one ever dreams about their problems, but every life has them. And she follows that up at the end of the trailer, saying even the extraordinary ones.
So we're gonna get some Clark and Lois on the porch talks. That's good.
Yeah,
some heartfelt husband and wife time. I like it.
I love it. Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Some interesting use of powers here. It appears Master Chief has some sort of pulse rifle or something that just knocks all these, I think they're like federal agents or something, left and right. So that could prove to be a problem. And we also see super breath. Either that or he's just sneezing really.
Allergies.
Yeah.
Pandemic.
Like in these modern times, we do not want Superman to use super breath. Of course, well, I'm just saying he's Kryptonian. Yes, he doesn't have it, but he could be a carrier.
Anyway,
we don't know.
I'm bringing up all the wrong topics.
Yes, you are. You did briefly in the last season discuss this, and we kind of made mention of it and went on. But heat vision in the CW verse has been blue. Previously, whenever we see Supergirl use it, it burns. It's one of those burns so hot it's cold kind of things, and this is looks to be the typical red heat vision that we've come to know from Superman in this show. So good to see that we've had strength, super breath, flight, and heat vision. Just in this
space.
Trailer alone. Do what?
He can breathe in space.
And he can breathe in space, which is also something that Supergirl said no to. So
there you go. No Superman the animated series spacesuit for him.
Nope.
He can breathe or not breathe.
Yeah, maybe he's holding his breath. Maybe he took a big super breath in, flew up, looked around, got nailed by Master Chief, and knocked the air out of him.
You think he's going to come out and be like, and don't call me Master Chief?
Yeah. It was the only suit they had at the costume store. Look.
I didn't get my doctorate to be called Master Chief. I'm Dr. Chief.
It's been 4 years in Halo school. Be called Master Chief. And then we end on a shot of Clark looking longingly at Lois, it looks like. Oh,
Lois is looking pretty in that last shot. I mean, she's pretty, but she's looking especially pretty in that last shot.
The name of the show has grown on me, and I didn't really ever have too much issue with it to begin with. I thought it was a little wordy, but what are you going to call it? Superman? I mean, what were you going to call a Superman show that we haven't already done? Smallville, Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Superman, The Adventures of Superman. Well, like that. I like the title now.
Coming from the CW, I expect it to be called Super Friends.
Touche. Another thing we have not discussed is it's actually going to be because the pilot runs along, it's actually going to be a 2-hour event on February 23rd, featuring a special behind-the-scenes look at the show. Which when do you ever get that for a premiere? That's wild. So we get 2 hours just out of the gate on this brand new show that we hope we get to talk about for a while. I love the trailer. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I think it gave us a good glimpse of what we're getting into, and by also asking some questions that we're not used to asking when it comes to this character.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Frank, what do you think of the suit?
I am way into the suit. I'm like very, very pleased, very impressed with the suit. It's a big step up from the sort of interim suit that they gave us in his guest appearances on Supergirl.
You're being kind.
Maybe so. I
fruit roller.
I really freaking. I don't think I ever disliked the old suit quite as much as you did. I think you felt worse about it than I did. But oh man, do I love this new one! Like when I saw it, I was like, all right, that's as much as I didn't have strong negative feelings about the last one, or just sort of neutral feelings on it. This is what I'm talking about.
I don't think I had problems with. I never liked the cape. I don't think I had true issues with his suit until we saw him standing next to Ralph in his suit, and it was like, I mean, and it literally looked like somebody cosplaying. Not that there's anything wrong with that. People do amazing amounts. I've seen cosplays that far outdo Hollywood in some instances, but it did look like more effort was put into Ralph's suit than Tyler's.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And clearly they knew that they needed to put some work into giving him a proper suit, and I think they've given it to us in spades.
Robin, where do you lie on the new suit?
Oh, I love it. I was actually just looking through the trailer to see if I could find a nice still image of the suit, and it really is that when he lands in the factory and there seems to be some sort of reactor issue going on or something. It looks really cool. Another thing that strikes me about this trailer for Superman and Lois is that really we see mostly Clark in this trailer.
Yeah, it kind of, to me, harkens back to Lois and Clark a little bit. I mean, because that show was about Lois and Clark, and was Superman was kind of a guest character when he would show up when Dean would put on the suit. It wasn't about him. It was about the two of them as reporters, and he was Superman. Almost in some instances was an ancillary character to the show. So it kind of reminds me of that too. That this is very much about the four of them on this show and Superman. And yes, he's going to be Superman. Obviously, it's right there in the name, and we can't have it without him. But that, like you said, that so much of this shown is Clark Kent.
And I've been saying, in the last few months before we got this trailer, it's baffling to me how they're promoting the show. And it is kind of funny that, I mean, it's got me. I see Superman. I'm like, okay, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I wonder, somebody who's just like, I remember Superman movies, and seeing this trailer, whether they'd be like, oh, does this look interesting to a person like that? I'm not sure.
I think I like how different it is. Again, going back to this whole, it's an established character that's been around the block for a while, but it's not another origin story. It's not Smallville. It's not Snyder. It's its own thing, and it's doing something that we haven't gotten to see before on live action, because most of the time it's whenever we join a Superman in the first installment, whether it's cinematically or in television, we see those steps to him becoming Superman, where Martha making the suit or something. There's some lead up to it, or in instances of shows we've podcasted previously about, there's 10 years of lead up to it. So it's
it's about the journey, Derek. It's all about the journey.
I thought it was about relationships.
It is strictly about relationships, and we won't hear anything else. It's a Superman who's been Superman. I don't know what you remember the math that we did in that episode. How long has he been doing his thing?
There would be none.
I was told there would be no math.
Go back in our feed.
Go back previously.
I did a lot of work for you.
I mean, I want to say it was something like 12 years or something at the start of when Supergirl landed. He had already been doing it for like...
Yes.
So
yes,
that's 20-something years of him on the scene. And God knows what crisis changed. They could throw all this out. You could have been saying he's been doing it 5 years. Who knows? It's totally new territory. And crisis kind of changed the board. And I honestly, I don't think just Crisis changed the board. I think the pandemic changed the board a little bit. I think the pandemic has altered this story. I think definitely there are going to be elements from whatever was supposed to happen on Supergirl last season that didn't end up happening that are going to affect this in some form or fashion. Maybe not in the first episode, maybe not in the pilot, but somewhere, something I'm sure is a direct influence, because these shows do take place in the same universe. Yeah. And I don't even know when Supergirl's coming back now. Have they said, Frank?
They have actually, and I'm looking it up because I don't remember offhand.
I can't even. For its final season. I think I said that earlier in the show. Excuse me.
Yeah, it is going to be mid-year.
Yeah.
I just don't remember the
I wonder if it'll trade off with this. If we are getting just the 12 or 13 episodes of season one of this,
and then so. It's not 13 episodes. I think it's a 20 episode order.
I mean, of Superman and Lois.
Of Superman, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once that ends, then Supergirl kicks in.
Yeah, I kind of hope so. And this will be on. Will this be on Tuesdays?
This is Tuesdays.
This will be on Tuesdays,
February 23rd.
I kind of would like it if Supergirl would leave the Sunday night slot and would move to Tuesday.
I kind of wonder if it will, because they've had so much new programming added now, and we're losing some things that obviously there's no more Supernatural now as of this season, which is the first time in 15 years you can ever say that. So there's definitely been a shakeup to the schedule. Did they move Batwoman? Is it on the same night? I can't remember now. Obviously, that's another show we didn't even talk about at the beginning when we were talking about the changes. The other show, that show has gone through significant changes just in its sophomore season. So losing your lead and changing out leads in the second year. So
Batwoman has stayed on Sundays as far as I know.
It's like you said, though, Frank. It's definitely kind of the winds have been changing. I'm not going to say as a result of COVID or anything like that, but definitely, I think everything's kind of all encompassing. I think when you wrap all this together and you show, look, we had to take this much time off. People's priorities have changed. Melissa had a baby, so did have a baby. That's happened, correct?
Yes.
So there's just.
Yeah, and frankly, I mean, they did cite declining ratings for Supergirl as another reason that they decided to. Okay, we're gonna give them a heads up that the season is ending, but this will be the series ending. This will be the final season, and but they I think they were going to do a 13 episode order, and they decided to extend it to 20. And let them finish out the series.
Well, and it's so nice when you can go into a season knowing that. I mean, Supernatural
100%.
Got that, Arrow got that, Smallville got that. To not have to, cram stuff in halfway through the season, or God forbid, not get picked up at all. Expecting to get picked up, not get picked up at all, and that was your last episode, and you weren't able to finish the story.
Right.
And we saw, or I saw. I don't know if you guys watched how much COVID affected things like Supernatural and drastically changed whatever the original ending of that show was going to be, with what they ended up having the ability to do with skeleton cast and crew. So this show, Superman and Lois, was filmed in those protocols. Obviously was not supposed to be, was slated to begin filming much earlier, and was pushed back and then was it was really one of the first shows excuse me, in Vancouver, that when things got rolling again, that this is one of the first ones they started with, and thankfully, I mean, and it wasn't that long ago. What, October? Wasn't that when they started shooting the pilot? I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was October,
because it was right around the time we were going to be in Vancouver.
That's right.
And to be staring down the barrel here just a couple weeks away, it's crazy. We're already here. And then like less than a month after that, we get this 4-hour director's cut. Awesome. Frank, where you going? Frank, come back, Frank. We got more to talk about. No, he literally got him left, didn't he? It's a good bit if you can get it. This is Superman and Lois TV talk, not Snyder Cut TV talk. Although I feel like we're going to have to do something about it because, I mean, it's become this. I mean,
we do have to do something about it. That's for sure.
Well, that's not what I meant. That is not.
I said I don't.
I didn't mean like pay the mortgage. I meant like we got to do something about that bill. I'm going to call and give him a piece of my mind. We're going to have to discuss it at some point because it is a thing that's happening.
Yeah.
And, you know, originally, or even just a couple weeks ago, it was supposed to be 4 or 5 episodes, and now is a full film.
As it should be, honestly. If you're going to release a movie, make it a movie, you know?
Wait, wasn't this movie already released?
Yes.
Okay.
Directed by Joss Whedon. He showed up.
Is this Justice League Dark?
Actually,
it's going to be a lot darker. Yeah, I got news for you there. I know how y'all feel. But I also feel like, to me, as a Superman fan, I will take scraps at this point to get something. Like, it hurts to not. And I'm not calling this scraps. I'm just saying I will take anything because we get so little. And then you have Batman who gets so much. And he's everywhere and he's in everything. And you have Gotham and you have Titans and you have Harley Quinn. And just today I saw that they're doing a Batman podcast. DC's releasing an official Batman podcast. And then there's a Robert Pattinson movie. And then there's going to be a spinoff of that on
Max.
And
right?
so many of the Suicide Squad characters are Batman. It's Batman. So
don't forget Pennyworth.
Forgot about Pennyworth. Remember that one where he has sex with Martha Wayne? That's weird. So that happened, I believe. I haven't actually watched that, but apparently that actually happened in one episode. So to get something, and I like Henry as Superman. I do.
Me too.
And to be able to watch it and not have to be staring at his upper lip the entire time, I'm looking forward to that.
Amen.
We should have got a Man of Steel 2. We should have got a Man of Steel 2. That's all I'm saying.
We might still.
I don't believe it.
Depending on what happens here, and then he's supposed to be in Shazam or Black Adam, or I can't keep up anymore.
I can't wait to see The Rock upstage Superman.
Well, if anybody could do it, it would be Dwayne Johnson.
This is true.
But shitty.
Is there anything else? Suit, 2 trailers, weeks away. Less days away. Let's call it days away. I mean, we're 22 days out at the time of this recording.
Yep.
For the 2-hour premiere. It was kind of one of those things that almost snuck up on me. Like, we've been doing the podcast, and I was like, yeah, Superman and Lois next year. It's coming. Oh, it's here. It's
constantly.
It's in 21 days. We're here, or 22 days. It's crazy to think. It's crazy to think that it is upon us, and that we finally get some new Superman content to talk about. Because I'm still mourning the death of Krypton. Not the planet, but that too. But the show. Frank and I covered that over on Sci-Fi, and if you've not watched Krypton, my God, it's 2 seasons. It doesn't take you that long. It's something you can binge over a weekend. It's a downer. What'd you say?
I said get it together.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said it's a downer. I'm like, well, the planet doesn't blow up in the show. But that's one thing watching this trailer. It was like, oh, remember Krypton?
I know.
I miss it.
I know, same.
So it's to be able to talk more about Superman in podcast form that I've been doing for 16 years now, to be able to do it with the both of you is a privilege and an honor. So I am looking forward to this journey. I'm not a big fan of episodes leading up to the premiere of a show because I feel like Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like I feel like my voice or content comes better from actually talking about things that happen on screen. So if you're rating us based on these episodes alone, please don't. Let us get into the actual show proper and show you, because we've done this for a while and we really enjoy these characters and are passionate about discussing them and the little nuances, and to be able to do that with a new version of the characters is really exciting for me.
Between the three of us, we have like 40 years of podcasting experience.
I know, and I feel it in my hips, man. It's just like when the wind when it gets colder. Young whippersnappers. All right, is that it? We get everything?
I think so.
Robin,
you can.
I think so.
Okay, you had that look of like, we've got the first 10 minutes of the show we hadn't talked about or something. I was like, I thought I was totally forgetting something. Oh, you want to talk about Snyder Cut now? Well, let's go. Frank, come back. Frank, sit down. Sit down, Frank. Where can they find us?
You can find us at supermantvtalk.com. You can find us on Twitter at supermantvtalk. And you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon Music, anywhere podcasts are found. You can find us. Please leave us a rating and review. Maybe wait to leave that rating and review until after we've actually talked about an episode of the show. And send us your thoughts on Twitter or via email. Thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks when this show finally kicks off. It's been a long road, but we're excited to finally be staring down the barrel at the premiere. And we're going to have to remember all the ticks that we did, because I know previously we were all supposed to say I'm always around or something, and now I can't remember if we're always around. Nobody did it but me.
We'll never leave.
Wazowski.